Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Mazes are speaking to us. Welcome to Mazes OK's Hangout. This evening is a normal Friday hangout where we look at serious issues, but because it's Friday, in a relaxed atmosphere. In order to do that, I want you to go get something to drink. Here, I have my drink. So, no palm wine today. I'm drinking akpatashi. You know, when you get sugar cane, you squeeze the sugar cane out. Squeeze sugar cane, get the juicy part of it. Then you mix it with akpatashi. It's a very good cocktail. So everyone, welcome this evening. My name is Mazezok and this is Njenje Media TV. If you're joining me for the first time, please endeavor to subscribe and click the like button, share. So this evening would be nice to know where you are watching me from. Can you tell me where you're watching me from? Are you watching me from Nigeria? Are you watching me from Ukraine? And Chris NG, shown and say good evening, Chris. I hope we are all doing well. So let's actually bring in the chart. So we're going to bring in the chart in the screen there. You see? So everyone will see when the comments come in. So how are we doing today? So is the comments coming in? Let's see. Oh, okay. Yes, that's Chris's comment. Okay. Now we're trying to try something new. You know, you never know. You keep trying something new until you get where you're heading to. I think not only that, my internet connection, and I think the new thing I'm also trying is probably going to be a little bit wonky, but I'm going to make it also snappy. So everyone, if you wish to tell me where you're watching Mazezoke from, you tell me where you're watching me from. If that doesn't work, if this stream appears problematic, worst case scenario, we may end and we have to start again. Problematic. Okay. Worst case scenario. Okay, I think it's good now. I can see that Ikenna is joining me from Hamburg. Ikenna, schönen guten Abend, good evening, schönen guten Abend aus Hamburg. And Onyenimo, testing 1, 2, 3. Good evening from Ireland. You see, I try to remember everybody where where everybody is watching. Is Ireland, Northern Ireland. You know, sometimes I confuse Northern Ireland with Ireland, but it doesn't matter. Don't blame me. I'm not British. I am Onyebo. I am Onyebo, the dotted one, the unapologetically dotted. You know, Onye dot. For so many of you who still want, you know, if you're in Europe or in America, no, it's expensive to ship to America, but we still have some of these dotted t-shirts, you know. I wish I can fly into Ukraine or into London now. Now that we have the head of state in London, I'll go and visit him in the hospital and I wear this on your dot. You know, he wouldn't like it. And there is nothing he can do because he's in a country where there are laws. So he couldn't do anything. I will walk past him. The only thing he can say to me is, Kagani, is that not that in the circle? And I will say, Yo, Babani, Kagani, that is that in the circle. You know? And in that case, there is nothing and absolutely nothing that he can do about it. So people, let's get cracking. Let's get cracking. Let's get cracking. This evening, I want to share with us, you know, our politicians. That's, when you're getting old, it's just like me now. Anytime my beards, my beards will be white. I think it would be nice to leave my beards to be white, not to start dyeing them. So why would I dye them? That's why I appreciate people who leave their beards to be white. But in the political sphere, there are people who are maybe over 90 years, but some of them say they are 60, and some say they are 65. Okay. I don't know. I'm not their mother. I don't know how old they are, but by their looks, you might think, nah, this person isn't something isn't adding up there. But that's not my issue. My issue this evening is that I saw a video where the Jagaban at was Maegu would always call him Jagabantis. I don't know what he means by Jagabantis. So I saw a video where Jagaban is saying that he is a youth. I said, why won't he be a youth? Isn't that the problem with Nigeria? When an adult, will begin to say that he is a youth, when they will tell you, when it comes to the post of youth leaders, you are um, you are basically competing with those who ought to be sleeping, who ought to have retired. The youth will be competing with them. That's what it is. Not that he said he is a youth is my problem. It is my problem is the condition in which he finds himself while saying that he is a youth. That is actually my problem. The condition in which he finds himself when he said that he is a youth. I want you to watch it.
And make peace part of your master plan. You be there, and I will a youth, and I'm a youth.
So he's saying, I am a youth. My issue is not that he's saying I'm a youth. Pay attention to his hand. This is what I saw. You be there. And I can tell you, Mazezoke is a youth. I am a youth. And if I'm a youth, there is no reason why you should not believe me. If you don't believe me, I am only 21 years old, according to whatever you are going to see. That is it. Watch again.
And make peace part of your master plan. You be there, and I will a youth, and I'm a youth. And make peace part of your master plan. You be there, and I will a youth, and I'm a youth. And make peace part of your master plan. You be there, and I will a youth, and I'm a youth.
So, can we can we all agree that Jagaban, as Mayegu would say, Jagabantis? Can we all agree that he is a youth? Can we all agree? Do you all agree that Jagabantis is a youth? From what you saw in the video. So forget that my hand is doing like this. But can we all agree that he's a youth? Listen, people, pay attention. No matter what is going to happen, let's not deceive ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we will come back at some point and begin to blame ourselves and begin to look for. This is how in 2011, 2015, some people came in and said their happiness, they are voted. When let's say for instance, when this thing happened, when this current president was being questioned during the debate and this happened, not many of you took it serious. Watch.
Livestock.
Livestock. National livestock.
I will talk about it. He doesn't know. He doesn't. I think he doesn't know.
These are all directed at Mr. President. So corruption, yes, let me know. He can talk for himself.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
I want Nigerians to give you another opportunity to do another 4 years. Why?
Well, I
He doesn't know.
I think
So when that happened, when that was happening, everybody, people were being called names. Oh, you're being disrespectful, yata, yata, yata. Now we have seen where we have, we found ourselves. Suddenly we are now driving aeroplane while we are flying cars. We are flying cars and we are driving aeroplane and we are seeing the consequences. So we are warning you now. The other time there was a we. There was a we. There was a we. No, when we were small, when we were part of the scout, we do oski we, oski wawa. If you know, you know. So now there is a we. If you don't pay attention, if you don't take care, you might end up having we might end up having we's in Aso Rock, and we's where they're not supposed to be. But again, here you are, Nigerians. Some of you will start saying, "Oh, is hatred? Is this?" No, there are thousands of young, healthy people. Listen, you and I can eventually get old, get to a point of, but the moment I clock 60, and I will tell the world, man says, okay, 60, but I'm not 60 yet. And if by any chance strength fails, of course, you tell people that strength is failing, not necessarily, faking stuff. The thing is, by the way things are going now, it doesn't really look good. Oh, he says, Mazi, your blood. I don't know. Maybe Mazi is trying to hide his face because, you cannot be talking about we. And I'm hiding from, Mazi is hiding from DSS. Eh? When we were saying all these things the other time, even if you check now, if you recall, when those said they were happiness more when they voted. Now, I don't know if they are happiness more again.
All right. Have you voted?
I'm voted, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm happiness, I'm voted, yeah.
tell me your feeling after voting today.
Yeah, after voting, I'm feeling okay. What I want, I get it on the result. I'm getting the party I want is the one going on. Thank you for that.
What are you expecting from these people you voted?
I'm voted, they can do what you want, and then when they want, what they want, inshallah, we're happiness more, isn't it? So then please, I want to beg them. We suffered almost 10 hours we are standing because of what we want. We need change. And then the person we need, he's the one on the party we want. Isn't it? So please, we want change.
Change? What kind of change?
The change of situation which we are now.
What is the situation you are in?
Situation of sufferness. Isn't it? Yeah, we are so far. How many years? As you see, 12 years for what? I mean, almost 40 something years. I don't know what his government did for me. Is it come out of this like this radio? I don't know. I don't know. Actually, yeah. I have to complain. I mean, Nigeria really. Almost 40 something, I don't know what his government. So I need change. The person I know is going to change this thing by force, whether the leader they want or not. Any person which is bad, he must escape in this country, or he be hidden like how they are hiding a poor people inside prison, which you don't have a court attendant. Inshallah, we need Buhari to change this country.
So, inshallah, we will need Buhari to change this country. Now, fast forward. If we never had Buhari, if we never gave him the opportunity to change this country, everybody would still be shouting, oh, the best president Nigeria never had. But thanks goodness, we had him and we gave him the opportunity to change the country. Now, they started by telling us, wow, subsidy is fraud. Subsidy is fraud. I don't need to play the video. I've played it multiple times. Subsidy is fraud. Yet, we are paying subsidy. Does it mean that we then engage in fraud? I don't know. You tell me the answer. The question that bothers me then is, if, like this young man in 2014 was saying that it's change, he wants change, and he has gotten the change. I don't know if he has electricity now. The heat is on. The heat won't kill somebody here. There is no electricity. People are suffering. And to agree that people are suffering, Femi Adesina, the presidential spokesperson to the president, now, rather than actually sympathize with the people, he had the following to say today, and he said that, well, that we Nigerians were suffering more before. Have you ever had that such of nonsense? Because sometimes I keep wondering, I don't know what they smoke whenever they get into Aso Rock, or the Aso in the rock, or the rock on the Aso, whatever it's called. You don't know what they smoke. Honestly, let me show us what Femi Adesina, in a publication published this evening, in a publication of what he said on his Facebook page, published by Njenje Media today. You can look and see what this man is saying. Nigerians have suffered worse before. They will survive current fuel scarcity. They will survive current poor power supply, Femi Adesina said. And the news goes on to say, the special advisor to the president, media and publicity, Femi Adesina, says Nigeria will survive the current fuel scarcity as reported by Njenje Media. Now, you come down here in the body of the thing, it says here, however, the Nigerian government had assured Nigerians that normalcy will soon return because it has enough fuel. Which fuel? Which fuel? The fuel that is knocking people's engine. Adesina in his latest weekly article on Tuesday titled Knock Knock, who is there? So Adesina, because we are all at home. People in the Southeast, so Monday, you'll be at home. Then with fuel scarcity, we are all trekking. Everybody is going to be working very hard because in the words of Buhari, you're only working very hard when you're losing weight. Now we are losing weight. The trousers and knickers and boxers and the half chemise and peteries that were fitting us before are no longer fitting us. Yeah, they are now dropping. So everybody is looking for rope. If you don't see any rope to tie your trouser, go to the banana tree and try to cut the back skin that is dry and use it to do your trouser century. That will probably help. And Adesina is telling people, yet some people have children, words, dependent and the relations in Ukraine, currently being bombarded by Russia. I have one, daughter of a family friend. When I spoke with her last week, she was hiding in a bunker, talking in whispers. But amidst it all, no fuel, no electricity. anxiety about Ukraine, general insecurity, government continues to work. You see, government in Ukraine, they have power, even when they are being bombarded. But in Nigeria, nobody is bombarding us. We don't have power. In Ukraine, they have power, even when there is Russia is smoking from right, left, and center. But in Nigeria, nobody is pursuing us. We don't have water. Fuel, the one that will make you cry, the country where you come from, a country that ought to produce petrol, a country that has petrol beneath his soil, is importing fuel. Is no be juju be that? Imagine, listen, people, just imagine this. Imagine this for 1 second. In your house, you have plantation of palm oil, plantation of palm oil, but you are idiotic and stupid enough not to be able to harvest it and create palm cook with it. Rather, you go and import from Malaysia to come and cook. You have orange in your orchard at home, but you are so stupid and idiotic that you cannot peel the orange and squeeze them and make yourself orange juice. But you go to Germany to go and import the one that already finished. Are you not worse than an animal if that is what is happening? But again, no matter what, this is what is happening to us. We have, and for heaven's sake, this guy, in all this nonsense, sorry, but that's a pure nonsense. It's basically provoking Nigerians. In all this nonsense he wrote. And he continues, the heavens won't fall. The heavens won't fall if we keep complaining. The heavens won't fall and sanity will be restored. You ask, when? We have a minister of petroleum. Nigerians don't have fuel. What does he do? He runs away. He says, au revoir, bye-bye. Let me go to, because if I want to go to a hospital in Abuja, they might take light. Let me go to London, where they won't take light. Knock, knock. He continues. Who is there? Do you remember the title of the book by James Hadley Chase that we read in the 70s and 80s? Were you old enough then? Nah, man, you think we're all children, Abby? You think we're all born yesterday? Who didn't read James Hadley Chase? More than, well, you be guy man then if you don't read James Hadley Chase. I don't know about children of nowadays. I never even asked my children if they're, anyway, it might not be their thing. But James Hadley Chase was one of those films, it is a book that transforms you as if you're in the cinema. But here, the additioner is reminding us, if we are old enough. Do you also remember the song he used to listen and dance to then? Written by Arrow Schroeder and Sid Wayne, released in 1959 by Isley Brothers, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna knock on your door, ring on your bell, tap on your window too. Okay, people I say you follow too much Opeke. Because this one, you're ringing bells, you're tapping doors, and you're now knocking on windows. It is like you like the stuff of Zaza room. If you don't care, come out tonight when the moon is bright. I'm going to knock and ring and tap until you do. Are you liking glare? His glare worst, a gloomy worst. I have to come knock on your door. So what I'm saying in essence is all these things he just wrote. After writing this thing, you ask yourself, to what end is he writing this nonsense? To what end? And that's one thing I keep asking to myself. To what end was he writing all these things for? To what end? Nigerians at the moment are just, the things that they want are very simple. Nigeria is not working. Very, very simple. Rather than address these things, you come to mock them because you sit in the rock in the assault. And obviously you're happy there. Any other person, any other person is talking probably doesn't make sense. In the words of Asari Dokubo, he will say, "No be juju be that. Nigeria is not for you." Really, really. Don Anthony says, "Yes, I remember that very thick novel." No, them James Hadley chairs are not really thick. They are normally, I think, between 180 to 200 pages, but they are normally, they are weak. They are. When we got really into James Hadley chairs, we, you get one, you read it a weekend. You come back from school Friday, no matter what, before you know it, you finish washing all the plates, do all the clothes, because you are immersed in reading James Hadley chairs. That time you read and you fold, you use something to keep in between where you've read up to. But at the end of the day, that is beside the point. The point remains that there is no fuel. Yet we have a minister of petroleum who told us that he is a minister and that he was there before. But we have seen it. We have seen it. Here again, after seeing this, then you are now looking at a man, because you remember that time, people raised concern of Buhari's health. Recall, there was a day he came down in Abuja, and the German reporter from the Deutsche Welle asked him a question about his health, how fit he was. He replied sarcastically to the reporter saying, do you want to test? Are they going to go for a run? And when the reporter asked him about Boko Haram, and he did like this, what is Boko Haram? Saying what is Boko Haram, inadvertently that Boko Haram meant nothing, that you could just disseminate them, you can just destroy them. But today, we have seen it. The Northwest is become ungovernable space. The Northeast has become an ungovernable space. Sadly, the Southeast is joining the madness as well. The Southeast is joining the madness. So tell me, where is safe? That's why, if everywhere is not safe, we have people in war-torn Ukraine. Some people say, rather than come to Nigeria, they will stay there. I don't blame them. If you don't have a house in Lagos or in Abuja, where would you stay? You come down to Nigeria, you go to your village. If you come from the Southeast, which village are you going to go to? Where? Which one? Where you have insanity going on now, or what? So the whole thing it's really messy. Or is it what is happening in Ukraine as we speak? We have over 500 students stuck in Sumy. Sumy, S-U-M-Y, a city close to Russian border. And we have been unable to negotiate their evacuation. This bombardment started, or this crossfire started, since the 24th of February. But yet, there appears to be no headway. Why? Because we're all doing well. That's all. We're all doing well. We have our children now constantly living in fear of bombardment, and they are living under basement. Well, thanks goodness, and I must note that AP's and Azman Airline, or whatever it's called, is now, they've gone to Poland. Those that have crossed over to Poland, they've gone to Poland to pick them, and they are back. Someone said they were giving 100 naira each. $100 each. I said, well, it's, we mustn't criticize everything. I think life first. I think the government has done noble, what every government should do, to bring them, out of harm's way and bring them into Nigeria. So whatever compensation, if that's $100, if black market, probably 55,000 naira, definitely is going to get them either a flight ticket to their state, or a bus transport to their state. Fine. And maybe their relations can come to Abuja and pick them up. Government has done noble there. Knock government when they need knocking, but also say the right things when, the basic things. That's why government exists. Now, some of you have been doing your calculations and your mathematical calculations, saying that the money Nigerians in Ukraine are not more than 5,000, and not all of them will be coming back. And you've done your calculations that it's going to cost on average about $685 to get one person back. And again, in your calculation, you said that $685 is also a return ticket via Qatar Airline or Turkish Airline. However, you're doing the calculation, I know where you guys are headed to. You're heading to the money approved by the federal government, obviously, for this. But, be that as it may, I think life first, let's rescue. The moment we're done with rescue, then we can begin to probably look into, but again, Nigeria now, something must happen. Somebody must go market. And when somebody go market now, you try it in Nigeria. You can't send a small child to an errand these days. During our time, if you send us in an errand, we'll use tire, with stick. We'll go, we'll come back. If your money was 2 naira, the moment we hand it to you over, we zap out because we're almost on the move. We want to go and play. But this time around, he give a child 500 to go and buy you 350 bread. He comes in, he hands you over the bread. He doesn't give you the change. It's you that will ask the child, where is my change? And I say, uncle, you they ask for change. See, that is what I am. That is exactly what is likely to happen with these money budgeted for the evacuation of people from Ukraine. We may end up hearing, honorable, off the mic. Were you expecting us to, to have returned something in a country where you have representative ambassadors and suddenly money was mapped out, people from National Assembly wearing agbada heading to Poland to go and do what? You don't speak Polish. You know nothing about that. But Nigerians are this. If you want where you will go, we have over 500 students in Sumy. You want where to go, but you're going to Poland now where there is space. If you so much love Nigeria and so much love those children, head into Sumy. That's all. It's at the border. Find there. Get them out. I did a poll on Twitter because if Buhari is in London for 2 weeks, the presidential aircraft will be parked for 2 weeks. And my poll was very simple. Should the president park that aircraft in London? Or should the president, at the time the president is in London, should we use that aircraft to go and evacuate Nigeria? For the first time, not all the people that voted in that poll, not a single person said otherwise. Everybody wanted that plane to head to Eastern Europe and bring back Nigerians. All I did was to tag the president. Maybe I would have contacted the Asuko to put that in form of in form of cartoon. Maybe because I heard that if you want to get his attention, you put some of these things in cartoon. So sorry, who says he flew back to? Okay, yes, he flew back to Abuja. Yes, but even if someone said, when the president flew back to Abuja, someone sent me a message this evening saying, Mazi, is it that the president is no longer sick or what? I said, no, maybe because we are challenging them to use the aircraft. But again, now if he comes back, if he's not using the aircraft to go to Daura, the aircraft will be parked at home. That's it. The aircraft will be parked at home. And if the aircraft is parked at home, can't we use it? Recall that before he became the president, he was actually telling us that when you vote me in, that was in Chatham House, that he was going to use the thing, he was going to sell the fleet of aircraft that we have, the presidential aircraft, and use them to start Nigerian Air. Nigerian Air is the only airline that started on PowerPoint, landed on PowerPoint, and stopped working. We went to faraway Farnborough, Surrey, in the United Kingdom, launched an airline without any plans. Suddenly, what we now hear is that before the end of this year, Nigeria will start producing planes. It reminds me of a joke where somebody said a university professor sat in a car, sat in a plane, and it was announced that that plane was built by a Nigerian or Nigerians. Everybody ran out. Oh, it was built by Nigerians. But the professor sat and he did nothing. And everybody came and asked him, Prof, why are you not scared about, this plane made by Nigerians in case if it crashes? The prof looked at them saying, this thing was built by my students. It won't start. Talk less of flying. So there is no need to be scared. Now, and I'm here on this note, I'm willing to bet anyone. Just like as I bet, as I had some bet with people then that the Nigerian Air was not going to fly. And I won that bet. It's not that I don't want Nigeria to have an airline, but when you review how things are done and how it was done, you know it is an impossibility to work. You announce an airline. You recall, you announced an airline. One small boy in what's it called? Where do we have this orthopedic hospital in Lagos? One small boy in Shomolu. One small boy in Shomolu registered the website. Now, think, if a government is serious and they are planning an airline, don't you think and don't you know that part of the management of that project will be when you're doing your work breakdown structure, when you're doing your project plan, you say, what is it that we need? We need a website. We will need this number of staffs. Are we going to outsource pilots or are we going to employ pilots? You break down your project, but when you forget the first step, the basic thing you need to do, and you started doing other things, isn't that a recipe for failure? Exactly the way it is now, you can't produce any single parts. Suddenly, you want to produce aeroplane. Kai. Mutani Nigeria ya mutuni. Nigeria Adam Penis. Adam Penis. I'm telling you, Nigeria Adam Penis. Nigeria Adam Penis. Because when I look me for Nigeria, they look me Nigeria Adam Penis. So some of you are watching me. You know what's happening in Ukraine. In the chat, I've added in the link if you want to join me here in the studio. But what you're going to do, if you want to click on that link, you can click and join me here and have this conversation. But on the condition that as the world is seeing my face, we must see your face. If you're not going to show your face, please don't join. It's as simple as that. Now, in all this happening, 2023 presents Nigerians, as long as we are still a country by then, another opportunity to basically select a new leader. Leaders are beginning to come out to say they want to govern. They say they want to do X, Y, Z. But here we are. Some of them some of us would argue, are not fit for purpose. Sorry, are not fit for purpose. And some have, I read one article today saying how intellectually savvy one of them is. I'm like, huh? Now, wow. Now, wow. When people, when you don't know these things, people will just be writing with so flowery words, as if they are with some rosy stuff that you think the individual in question is really a great person. But you never know that the individual, as the fella will call them, they are all pepeyers. Pepeyers. They are all pepeyers. Lastly, as you all may be aware, our good friend Abba Kyari, the Kyari, is finally going to be headed to America. No be juju be that. Abba Kyari will be heading to America. There is no two ways about it. Because it appears the government wants to use him to launder their image. Just rather than the world start looking at us as if we are not too serious. Can we please sacrifice? He's only one person. Let's sacrifice one. Let's sacrifice him. He's only one person. If we sacrifice him, maybe the world will think we are serious. Don Anthony, see you got your dash real quick. Yes, you go into the loo, I guess. See you. I'll take some of your comments. Some were scared to get on the plane. Of course, why wouldn't you be scared if you are in Ukraine? Why wouldn't you be scared? Because imagine, I know some of these children have been in Ukraine, especially those studying medicine. Because of how intensive their courses are, many of them in the last 3-4 years haven't left Ukraine. It's a 5 years program. So many of them are like, okay, let's stay, finish, come back to Nigeria once and do housemanship. That's why so many of them stayed back. So I mean, if honestly, if really you and I are in their, if we find ourselves in their shoes, we will probably do the same thing. We'll do the same thing. And I mean, I wouldn't blame them, but at least for now, I think the thing here is, if they are so scared, that's granted and that's given. It is their right to be scared. It is also, it's normal, it's human. But the government have done the right thing by bringing them back. And when I read some comments, it's good that a peace is now doing the job of a national carrier. But in this case, it's not a pro bono business. It's the money is being approved, so it's business. It's business. Okay, I mean, the government has no option. You do not have your own airline. You do not have your airline. It's a shame, really. It's a shame. It's a shame. The giant of Africa walking on mosquito limbs. It's a shame, really. Giant of Africa walking on mosquito limbs. That's what it is. But at the end of the day, there is going to be hope. We hope that we get to a point, maybe get to a point that the system is restructured. Talk about regional governance, get to where everybody go home and restructure and, put in place those things that the top is doing willy with us. Really, really doing willy with us. So, people, as much as possible, I want to make it a short one. Join me once more on Sunday. On Sunday this week, Sunday 6 p.m. Nigerian time, I will be having a one-on-one conversation with Professor Femi Fomilade, who is contesting for the president of Nigeria come 2023 under the Social Democratic Party, the SDP. On the 12th, of March, I will be having a one-on-one conversation with Omoyele Sowore as well, who has declared within the week. And next week, on the 20th of March, I will be having a one-on-one conversation with Anyim Pius Anyim. Again, if you do have questions for any of these candidates, please, I beg you, I thank God beg you, send me those questions across. Send me those questions across. I promise you, I'll find a way to chip in those questions, because at the end of the day, the reason why these things happen is that we get to ask them questions. You can always send me that, you can always follow me on Twitter at Mazezoke, or you send that email to njenjemedia@gmail.com. Always save the browser and ensure that every day you go to njenjemedia.com, where you get your news, authenticated news, real news, njenjemedia.com. You cannot miss it. We are working on our mobile app for Android and iOS. The moment those apps are ready, it will be pushed out. Everyone, you can have it at on your fingertip. But as well, if you're using an iPhone, if you're using iOS, and you can go to Safari and you create an app already, you can do that now. You just click on plus, you add create on your screen. It will create an app on your screen. Anytime you touch it, it pulls up the njenjemedia.com. Then you have those on your fingertip. So everyone, thank you very much for being part of this conversation this evening. For those of you who still want Onye Dot t-shirt, proudly dotted, who doesn't like it, look for the nearest transformer where there is no gate, no fence. Ensure that there is overcurrent at that time and do justice. On that note, I say thank you everyone for being part of this short broadcast this evening. I am still Mazezoke, and I say from here, good night. Good night, everyone. May God bless us all. Enjoy your evening. Or if you're watching me from where is your morning, I say enjoy your morning.